Hello, hello, interweb welders. We are kicking off section 4 of module 4, the last of the sections in power tools. And we're going to kick that off with talking about miscellaneous power tools, identifying and explaining how to use pneumatic and powder actuated, think gunpowder, actuated fastening tools, identify and explain how to use pavement breakers, think jackhammers, identify and explain how to use hydraulic jacks. And we're going to kick that off with talking about power tools. These are big, heavy-duty things, not the kind of stuff you'd have in your garage. In this section, we're going to be talking about industrial strength, big, massive power tools. They're used for many different applications, typically construction. In addition to drilling, cutting, and grinding, some of the more common applications include fastening, which is like bolting together, demolition, which is like tearing down a building, and jacking, which is, raising, leveling, buildings. Think about jacking up an entire house so you can move a house. You need some pretty powerful tools and procedures to get some of this work done. More specifically, we're going to talk about pneumatic, which is air operated, pneumatically powered nailers, nail guns, powder actuated fastening systems. Powder is gunpowder. They actually have little bullets in them that fire a nail or a bolt into concrete or steel. Pneumatic impact wrenches, those are wrenches that use air power. Pavement breakers, those are typically air powered, but sometimes electric jackhammers with different types of tips on them. And then there's hydraulic jacks, and those can actually be powered by air over hydraulics. So let's start off talking about nail guns. Nail guns are driven by compressed air traveling through air lines connected to an air compressor. An important feature of all pneumatic nailers is that they will not fire unless they're pressed down against the material. So here's a nail gun. Air hose comes in here. This little orange point right here on the tip, you have to actually push that down onto the board that you're going to nail. You press the trigger and you push this in at the same time, then it will fire. The use of a powder actuated anchor or fastening system. This gun is an anchor or fastening system. So this one is run by air. Now we're going to talk about a powder actuated, think gunpowder. Powder actuated anchor or fastening system has been increasing rapidly in recent years. They are used for anchoring static loads to steel and concrete beams. A powder actuated tool is a low velocity fastening system powered by gunpowder cartridges. The tools are used, this is a test question right here. The tools are used to drive steel pins or threaded steel studs directly into masonry and steel. A power tool that is well suited for breaking up concrete. Where is it? We're talking about nail guns. Here it is. A low velocity fastening system that is used to drive steel pins or threaded studs into masonry and steel is a what? It is a powder actuated anchor or fastening system, or a powder actuated tool. So, compared with powder actuated nailers, they don't require certification. Powder actuated nailers require certification to be used on a job site. Electric and air powered do not. So that's what you need to know right here. It says operators of powder actuated tools must be trained and certified before they can use those tools. Here's a picture of the little cartridges, the gun that shoots them, and these are some of the different things that they'll shoot in. But instead of a hammer hitting it, it just blows a little charge and does it. So before any pneumatically powered nailer using one, always read the manufacturer's instructions. Before using pneumatically powered nailer for the first time, it's important to do what? Always read the instructions. Most craft workers who use pneumatic nailers operate their compressors at about 70 to 120 pounds. Most craft workers who use pneumatic nailers operate their compressors at about 70 to 120 pounds of pressure. That's how we run in our shop too. That's the pressure we run inside our shop. And so that's for air hose, and the others for powder actuated. When nailing wall materials, locate and mark wall studs, otherwise it would be difficult to determine. You want to know what's in the wall. That's an important thing. Using a powder actuated fastening tool requires special training and certification. Yeah, we talked about that. They keep going over that over and over again, so I would be willing to bet you that's a test question. Power screwdrivers are just like power drills, but they have screwdriver tips on them. If the nailer is not firing, disconnect the air hose before you start working on it. Pneumatic nailers are designed to fire when the trigger is pressed and the tool is pressed against a firm surface. Special training and certification is required before using any kind of powder actuated fastening tool. If a pneumatic nailer is not firing properly before attempting repairs, be sure to disconnect the air hose, man. Be sure to disconnect the air hose. Turn the page. Powder actuated fastening tools have several guidelines that apply. The most important rule is that workers should never use a powder actuated tool unless they have been properly trained and certified. That's the third time they brought that up. Now we're going to move down and talk about jackhammers, also known as, actually they're called pavement breakers, but they're also known as jackhammers. Large-scale demolition tools frequently used in construction. They include pavement breakers, clay spades, rock drills, and core borers. These tools do not rotate like hammer drills. They reciprocate, which means move back and forth. Large-scale demolition tools like rock drills, core borers, and pavement breakers are different from other drills because they do not rotate. They go up and down, which is back and forth. A power tool that is well suited for working on demolition work, such as breaking up concrete or pavement. What's it called? A pavement breaker. This one's kind of easy because it says a tool that is well suited for breaking up concrete is a pavement breaker. How much does a typical pneumatic pavement breaker or jackhammer, how much does it weigh? I think they weigh, let's see, 50 to 90 pounds. 50 to 90 pounds right here. Attachments such as spades and chisels can be added. You take off the little punch that punches through the concrete, and you can put a spade, which is kind of another name for a shovel looking attachment, or a chisel. I've got pictures of those coming up. So let's look at hydraulic jacks. Hydraulic tools are used when an application calls for extreme force. Hydraulic jacks are used when the application calls for extreme force. When using a portable hydraulic jack, be sure to put the base of the jack on a solid level surface. If something is going to be lifting with extreme force, you don't want to have it on a unsolid surface because it's gonna not be able to lift, or it'll fall over. They do not operate at high speed, but great care should be used. The forces generated can easily damage equipment and material. Hydraulic jacks are portable devices used for a wide variety. They can be used to move heavy equipment. Turn the page. Okay, these are the different attachments for the pavement breakers. chisels, spades, pavement breakers. This could be an electric one. Yeah, electric. They make electric ones and air-powered ones. 50 to 90 pounds. Port-a-power. What is a port-a-power? A port-a-power is an example of a hydraulic tool. It's often referred to as a port-a-power hydraulic jack with an internal pump. Hydraulic cylinders can lift more than 500 tons. Turn the page. This is a hydraulic jack. The pump is built into the jack. This is a port-a-power. Here's the pump right here. This is the jack over here. And these are all the different attachments that you can put on it. So, the final review. Pneumatic nailers are designed to fire when the trigger is pressed and the tool is pressed against the material being fastened. The cutting shank on a pavement breaker is able to demolish concrete or pavement by reciprocating, going up and down. And when using a portable hydraulic jack, be sure to place the base of the jack on solid level surface. And that's going to do it for Module 4. So I hope you guys have enjoyed learning about this. And we're going to move into the final review and the Module 4 testing. Good luck.